Good morning, good afternoon, and or good evening, and welcome to the Bridge broadcast show. And I'm coming to you today on what day of the Christmas are we on? We're on the ninth day of Christmas. And so the ninth day of Christmas, we've been talking about the several important concepts that I consider as important as we lead up to the 12 days of Christmas. And I've talked about love, I've talked about giving, I've talked about joy, peace, self-control, gentleness, goodness, kindness. And today, I want to talk to you a little bit about faithfulness. And when I think about faithfulness, I think in the term of what does faithfulness mean? You look at the word faithfulness. It is something that is based on what is important or valued as important, combined with commitment to human beings. And it's having that tendency to be faithful to something that you really think is very important. So when you think about what are some things that we're very faithful to as people. We're very faithful to our family names. We're faithful to our spouses. We're faithful to our friendship, to our employer, to our school, our athletic teams. We're faithful to our church, faithful to our beliefs and values. There's so many things that we can find ourselves being faithful to. But one of the most important things as we think about our faithfulness in this season, in this holiday season, we're going through the season and we're several days away, and I've been out shopping. Not that I shop for, the mad rush of buying people gifts and things, just going along and being out there, being with people who are shopping. And, quite honestly, I found that people have been really nice. People have been just gracious. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas. Just people have been just in a better place this season. And maybe I'm just noticing certain things, or maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm in a better place. But to my surprise, people are just in the season. And so, but it's important for me to encourage you that you hold fast to, the understanding of faithfulness in this season. And so one of the things that I want to remind you of as we're talking about the fruit of the Spirit, we have that fruit of the Spirit. Why do we have that? It's important that we remember in this season that as we're talking about all the things that we're faithful to, we want to be faithful to God, and to faithful to Christ. We must love Christ supremely. And in this season, I just want to bring you back, because what is this season? Jesus is the reason for this season. You have to find yourself in a place that, how can I be faithful to God in this season? And so I just want to remind us not to slip in a place where, it just seems so easy, where we're arguing with our families, or we argue with our spouses. We find ourselves in those spaces where times just tend to be so tight and so, there's an attraction in our pull to have us take our attention away from God, even in this festive season. So I just want to remind you that in the Bible, it talks about presenting ourselves a living sacrifice. It says, present yourself a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable, which is your reasonable service unto God. And He's faithful to us. How can we be faithful back to God? How can we give ourselves in a place of faithfulness back to God? And so even in the midst of this season, how can you be faithful? What are some things that you're doing with your life, with your body, with your mind, with your thinking, with your commitment, with your values? How can we be faithful to God in this season? I just want to remind you that faithfulness is everything. And tomorrow I'm going to talk to you about faith. Faithfulness and faith, they go hand in hand. And so how can you find yourself in that place that you're faithful? And you know, when we think about it, faithfulness as it relates to um, faithfulness in the sense of a commitment. How do we find ourselves being faithful to God? So I just want to encourage you to put yourself in a place to be faithful to God, to show Him your love through how you are faithful to Him, and He surely will be faithful to you. Now, I want to remind you to join me on the last few days of Christmas and or the 12 days to Christmas, and enjoy as you're moving through. But remember, as we've talked about, love, giving, joy, peace, self-control, gentleness, goodness, kindness, and now today, faithfulness. And looking forward to tomorrow, faith. And you don't want to miss the last 2 days, especially the last day where we'll have our time together, and I'll bless you and bless your time that we've spent together. But I really look forward to seeing you. And in the meantime, enjoy and have a great 12 days towards Christmas. And it's not 12 anymore, but a few days towards Christmas. God bless you, and we'll see you soon.